Heyo, welcome back. Welcome back to the Cole and Noah Are Friends podcast.
Episode number 7, The Friends Awakens.
The Friends Awakens.
Yep.
Yes.
Brett Ballard, I just want to start off this episode by saying this is the one where we talk about football.
This is it.
And for all the people who are like, I'm going to skip this episode, I promise you, I know zero about football.
Yeah, I know barely more than zero about football.
So Cole and I are going to go... I'm going to look at the draft picks from this year. We're going to just start right in.
We're jumping right in, you guys. Here we go.
I'm going to pick the draft pick who I think will be the MVP, and whatever team he is on, that's the team that's going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. Now, if you're confused about how this works, allow an expert to explain this to you. In the NFL, there's a thing called the draft, where people who own football teams also sort of kind of get to own people. And legally, yeah, they legally sort of kind of get to own them, and they all go, we pick to own this person. But if you're one of the draft people, you like want to be picked. So there are a number of rounds, don't know how many.
According to this, it stops at 32, so I'm going to say 32.
Okay, so we're saying there's 32 rounds for the NFL draft pick. And
there's a musical guest that performs at the draft every year.
Yeah, total.
Machine Gun Kelly was 2021. I forget who was this year.
Is that true? Is there actually music?
Yeah, it's like a whole to-do.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
I had no...
And there's a big old musical performance. And it was really funny to watch all the people who came to watch their family get drafted, try and get into a Machine Gun Kelly concert.
That's right. He's coming to Omaha.
He was already here. My friend
Tyler
saw him. Shout out Tyler Jacobs.
Nice.
And also has a video of him. He was like walking up the side, and Tyler purposely like stood in front of him and started singing, and he like stopped for a second and sang with my friend Tyler. So my friend Tyler's a huge MGK fan.
That's awesome. Good for you, Tyler. I don't know you,
but it was a good time.
Good for you. God bless
I didn't go. I wouldn't know if it's a good time or not. Tyler said it was a good time.
My most exciting recent event was watching the CrossFit Games, which we can talk about later, actually, because why not?
My most exciting recent event was... I don't think I've had anything recently.
Wow, so exciting.
I got to play Grand Theft Auto. That's pretty cool, I guess. My wife and I are going to go on a date this weekend, so I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be great.
That's good.
We haven't gotten to do that very much recently, so I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be good.
Yeah.
No, I've got something that's exciting.
What?
Let me explain.
Oh, okay.
So, and then we'll get to football.
Great.
I used to love Hot Wheels as a kid. As I mentioned before, I love toys,
shoes off for this.
but I used to love Hot Wheels a lot. I had a bunch of them, and then my mom sold them at a garage sale, and I was really sad because I wanted to give them to my son.
RIP.
Thank you, Mom. Just kidding, Mom. Get rid of more things in your house. Get rid of the clutter. My wife said she's going to help them. My mom and dad just keep things.
You somehow just roasted your mom twice.
No,
in
my
5 seconds.
mom is the greatest woman on the face of this earth. I love my mom so very much, and she is very much a reason that I am the way I am. I love her so much. But they do need help just getting rid of things, and I need help getting rid of things. So that's not a roast on my mom at all. But like, it's okay to throw things away, Mom. And she honestly started doing that. It just, this one thing, I was like, no, Mom, my Hot Wheels.
Not my Hot Wheels, Mom.
26-year-old Noah was like, no, Mom, my Hot Wheels, why? And she's like, I was trying to get things out of my house.
I was doing what you told me to do.
Yep.
When I was editing that episode, I was trying to decide what the title was going to be, and I almost titled it Hot Wheels is the People's Company, because you said that.
I mean, honestly, it is.
And I had to Google, is Hot Wheels 2 words or hyphenated 1 word? And I got so... lost just scrolling through their website because all of the cool cars, and also I was like, dang, these are cheap. I could buy like 50 of these for like $30 or something.
So you just said the magic number. Here we go. New Batman movie came out this year. Okay. Last year is when it was supposed to come out, 2021. So they started releasing Hot Wheels of that Batmobile. So the way Hot Wheels work, Hot Wheels is really strange how like the market works, but certain cars will just like pop off and be worth a lot of money. Like Steven one time found a car that my son had, and he looked it up online and he was like, dude, this car that Kean has right here is worth $75 online.
Oh my gosh.
But if it's in its packaging by itself. So that one specifically came in like a 5-pack. So anyways, new Batmobile comes out. I am like desperate to find them just because I think the Batmobile's cool and I like want it because it's the first time in my life, other than the Tumbler, but at the time I didn't really care that much or realize this. That Batmobile is coming out, the very first one. It's going to be the first Batmobile. Hot Wheels has the license to it, and so I go looking for it, and then I find one, and then I find two. Right,
Ooh.
So I find two of them, and it says like first appearance, whatever. Matte black, really cool Batmobile. I find them. I now have 52 of that Batmobile.
Whoa.
Just that Batmobile. I would go on hunts. I would find Target on the day they got them. And I would grab all of them, put them in a basket, and take them to the front and just buy them.
Are you serious?
So I have 52 of them, and now you can sell them. They were 99 cents. Now you can sell them for anywhere from... Some people try to sell them for like $15. I haven't seen any sell for that, but you can sell them for like $5 usually, which is $4 profit.
That's a 500% markup.
Yes.
I think that's how that works.
And so then they released other models of this Batmobile. So there's a slightly bigger one that Hot Wheels makes that are $10, and I have 3 of those. Just because. And then they made another one that's the same size as the Hot Wheel, but it's made of die-cast metal and has rubber wheels on it.
Woo.
And those are $5, and I have like 6 of those.
Nice.
And it's, keep in mind, all the same Batmobile.
Yeah.
Then
the same exact thing.
I got Stephen Voss into doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And when he started doing it, we couldn't find them, and then randomly we found them again in stores, but they were no longer matte black. They were shiny black.
Oh.
With no explanation. Same packaging, same everything, but now they're shiny black, not matte black.
Yeah.
So that was confusing. So, of course, I bought like 10 of those. Just because.
So, of
I'm
course,
so sorry, Taryn.
more.
This is in the past. But what I'm about to say is very much present. Now, recently... Steven and I joked that was like the drug we were addicted to, was finding that Batmobile. We go to Targets and you look at the Hot Wheels and then you'd see like a different thing from the hang tag and it had the Batman logo on it. And that's how you knew it was different. And it's funny because all the Hot Wheels have cool names and all the Batmobiles are like Batman Arkham Asylum Batmobile, Classic TV Series Batmobile, insert name of Batmobile, the Batmobile. This one is just Batmobile.
Just Batmobile.
Yes. Recently, I was at a Target, and I was, like, looking through Hot Wheels with my son, and then I spotted it, that familiar hang tag, and I was like, no way. Pull it out. It is not matte black. It is not shiny black. It is now shiny, like, gray, like, almost like a carbon fiber gray.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, of course, now I have about 25 of those. Because I'm telling you, man, one day when these pop off, it's like Bitcoin. It's an investment. They're not really worth anything right now. But the good thing is the Hot Wheels market has never really crashed. It only goes up over time. And eventually they just gain more value.
Sure.
Now, will these Batmobiles? Who knows? But yeah, so now Steven and I are back out there on the hunt like a bunch of drug addicts looking for our next hit of finding that Batmobile. So I found a bunch. Steven has found 2 in the wild. I got him 2 for his birthday.
What an amateur.
Those were from my son. That's how I first found out about it. Kean wanted to. My son Kean loves Steven. He calls him his best friend, and he wanted
adorable.
He wanted to get Steven a birthday present.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What do you want to get him? Do you want to get him a Hot Wheel?" He's like, "Yeah, get him a really cool Hot Wheel," because like Kean, that's his love language. And so I go to the store, and I'm looking at a cool Hot Wheel to find him for Kean. He did this for Che once. Kean wanted to get Che a gift, and he got him a Hot Wheel. And go there, and that's when I see him. I find 4 Batmobiles.
Jeez.
And I was like, Steven, Kean's gift is going to be your favorite gift. And I got Steven this like hat from a store he and I both love in Nashville. My wife and Cammie got him something.
Yeah.
And I was like, Kean's gift will be your favorite gift. I got him the Batman on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And then I got him those 2 cars. And he opened it and pulled one out and he went, oh my gosh. And he went, Kean, your gift is far and away my favorite birthday gift I got. These 2 Hot Wheels. So then now Steven has those 2 and then 2 that he's found himself in the wild. I have found a lot. And then Thomas Knutson is in on it now, too.
Oh, jeez.
And Thomas has found, I think his total is up to 10 now. So it's just...
I feel like I'm discovering... This is like when I first realized there's a shoe market. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is happening to me all over
again. It's weird.
Like,
also, little conspiracy I have.
Mm-hmm.
So Matchbox cars, they suck. My son is
do.
really into them. They suck. They're not
terrible.
As detailed.
I grew up with Matchbox cars.
I think Hot Wheels owns Matchbox as well.
Really?
Because they're both Mattel companies.
Mm.
And that makes me curious. I'm like, okay, are they just trying to control the whole car aisle market? Or what's going on here? And I think the answer to that is a resounding yes.
We need Cammie. Because she's a conspiracy professional.
Exactly.
Cammie, we need to bring you back on. We need you to enlighten us about the Hot Wheels conspiracy. And if you don't know anything about it, we need you to become the expert because right now we're becoming the experts in the NFL draft. So,
Yep. And so now, getting away from Hot Wheel talk, hot talk as we call it in the scene.
Oh no, I dropped my microphone.
Cole, I'm torn because obviously people are going to be like, oh no, pick somebody who's already in the NFL to be the
MVP.
like the number one draft pick.
And that's what the people want to know. Who's the MVP? They don't want to know about the Super Bowl.
Here's the deal. No. We'll go to the MVP and how I'm choosing the Super Bowl champion this year is whoever I pick the MVP, whatever team he's on, they're going all the way this year. Normally, I'd say the Houston Oilers are going all this way.
Okay.
Or all the way. But
Houston Oilers.
Yep. So here we go. And I'll just give you my phone so you can look. So normally people would be like, oh, you'd pick the number one draft pick, which was Trayvon Walker from Georgia. Shout out Pastor Micah. Yep. He probably loves that he was number one draft pick and he's from Georgia. But no. We're going to go down to the bottom here.
Where you least expect
You know what?
it.
Here we go. I'm going to pick the 30th. No, because they could legitimately win the Super Bowl because this guy got drafted to the Kansas City Chiefs. Part of me just wants to go with the 32nd draft pick.
You should do it. Where's he from?
I'm gonna go with the 30th because I think his name is the funniest. George Karlaftis from Purdue. He got drafted to the Chiefs, so the Chiefs are gonna win the Super Bowl this year.
Way to go.
My second pick,
good luck,
is Louis Cine or Sign or Kine or I don't know. He's also from Georgia. He's the 32nd draft pick. He's going to the Minnesota Vikings, and my friend Lucas loves the Vikings, and I know that they have not been good in a while. So it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Minnesota Vikings in the Super Bowl this year.
Chiefs versus Vikings. Who's going to
win? The Super Bowl halftime show is going to win.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Who's going to do the Super Bowl halftime show?
Ooh, another prediction.
That's a prediction we all need.
Who's going to do it? Probably Maroon 5 again. Why not? I don't know. It depends on who has the biggest song this summer. Would not surprise me if they would do something crazy and do like Lil Nas X maybe. Or maybe they don't want all the controversy that would go with that. Coldplay. We'll just say Coldplay.
We'll say Coldplay?
I don't know. I don't like Coldplay, but we'll say Coldplay.
Dude, last year's Super Bowl halftime show was amazing.
What was that? What was it last year? Who was it? I can't remember.
I remember. Was it?
Oh
Snoop
no!
Dogg?
It was.
Who was it?
It was the mixture of hip hop artists.
Yes, it was
like Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, I think was on there. Eminem showed up. Kendrick Lamar showed up.
Oh, yeah.
It was nuts.
It was amazing, and it just made me feel old inside because we did a youth leader like Super Bowl party thing. Yep. And invited like all our youth leaders from Papillion and their families, and we went over to the Tollers, and it was so much fun. And a good chunk of us were freaking out because it was just such a great show, and a good other chunk of us, the younger, barely younger than me chunk of us was like, I don't know any of these people. And I was like, how do you not know some of this music?
There's no way they don't know who Kendrick Lamar is. I refuse to believe that.
I can't believe. Okay, so you've handed me the list of... These are the draft picks?
Yep, all the way down to 32.
All right. Trayvon Walker was number one.
Pick
Who's going to get
one,
the MVP?
Number two, and whatever team they're on.
Number one, number two. And okay. MVP.
Out of those two teams, I'm going to... the teams I picked, the Chiefs and the Vikings, I'm going to go with my friend Lucas on this one. I'm going to say the Vikings, just so he can celebrate endlessly.
I will say I got to go to a Steelers-Vikings game as a stand-in Steelers fan. Like I went with friends. Well, I went with
stand-in.
Yeah, basically. I went with friends who were Steelers fans, and I was like, sure, I'll be a Steelers fan today. I like to consider myself a lucky charm when it comes to the big events of the NFL. I'll explain more of that in a moment.
Yes.
But
he's part leprechaun.
Yes, I am. There's red in my beard.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
Open up.
We went to Minnesota for the Steelers-Vikings game at the Vikings stadium. That was I literally just now almost said that show was amazing because it's such a show. It's such an experience. The stadium is insane, and it was a blast. I would go back in a heartbeat for any Vikings game.
Did the Steelers win?
No, but it was pretty dang close.
Ooh.
Really, really close. It was a good game to watch. Let me pick my MVP picks, and then I'll say why I think I'm a lucky charm for things, and then we'll go from there. So my number one MVP, we're going to go with and not the 11th round, not number 11, who is Chris Olave. Olave?
Remember down at the bottom, there's a guy named Cole Strange.
I changed my mind. Cole Strange. Oh, and he went to the Patriots too. Okay. He's from Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
Cole Strange, number one MVP.
Okay, so the Patriots are going to the bowl. Who's number 2?
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm sending
team?
the Patriots to the bowl, but...
okay.
Yeah,
so he's just going to be MVP.
He's just going to be MVP.
Okay,
he's going to be great.
Different than mine.
Oh my gosh, what's his name? I feel like a total idiot.
Tom Brady?
I can thank you. I can feel Brett laughing at me.
I think he's on the Bucks.
Tom
Tampa
Brady.
Bay Buccaneers.
But he's not retired. He's back, right?
No,
he's still back.
He unretired.
Again.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah, because they probably were like... Also, one question I have, how do all these football teams have so much money? How can you give someone like a $160 million contract a year, and then on top of that, like your lowest paid player is still making like $10 million a year? Explain.
Dude, go to a Vikings game, and you'll understand.
Well, yeah.
It's packed. Like, there's thousands of people in there, and ticket sales alone, you're like at 100 or somewhere between 50 to 100, depending on where you're sitting, right?
Sure.
On top of concessions, on top of merchandise, on top of, plus TV stuff. Like, it's just so entertaining. They can capitalize on it so well. It is insane. I actually have a cousin who used to play for the Browns, kind of. Now he plays Canadian football. And is really fun to watch because in Canadian football, he's actually like kind of a big deal for his team. But no, we don't care because it's Canadian football. But so I used to root for the Browns just because I was like, yeah, go. You go, Dylan. You win.
Go, Browns, go.
Go, Browns, go. Anyways, Cole Strange, MVP. The Buccaneers are going to go to the Super Bowl because Tom Brady.
Okay.
No, just kidding. This is the year... I'm getting a prophetic word right now. It's not encouraging at all. So maybe it's not a prophetic word. It might just be from Satan. I don't know. This is the year Tom Brady gets an injury and can't finish his season. This is the year he's forced to retire, and he regrets having come out of retirement.
Ooh.
No, I take it back. This is the year he gets injured, is out for most of the season, comes back for the last 2 playoff games, and then they go to the Super Bowl and they win. That's it. Buccaneers all the way.
The Booper Soul. But who are they going against in the Super Bowl? And why is it the Detroit Lions?
Bucks are going... I don't know, man. I'm going to say, and I can't even say it because I can't laugh at it. I was going to say the Dolphins, but I just can't. Bucks and you know what? I'll say Vikings. Bucks and Vikings.
All right, nice.
Bucks and Vikings. Here's why I think I'm a lucky charm, Noah. Here's my answer to that. Okay,
you always eat Lucky Charms.
I start the day with the box, not the cereal inside. The box itself. You eat the box.
Then you eat the plastic midday.
That's right. Yeah.
Then you eat cereal before you go to bed.
Yeah. See, the whole thing is laced with luck, but it's only for the people who understand how it works. And you think you're getting lucky just eating the cereal, but no, it's the box that it comes in. It enriches the cereal, but the real magic is in the box. So that's why the Lucky Charm guy is always like running around with the bowl of like Lucky Charms in his hand. It's a decoy. It's so that they're like, oh, we're going to get him. And he's like, no, you won't. It's the box.
I got you.
Anyways, so I'm not an NFL, like I don't follow the NFL. I love Cornhusker football. And that's about it. Like I love football. I love playing the sport. I love watching the sport. I will get into any game. Like it's so much fun, but I don't follow the NFL. I could care less. But I had friends who like played Madden, and so I was like, I guess I'll play Madden when I was in middle school, and I got Madden, I think it was like Madden 06 or something. Anyways, you got to pick a favorite team, because duh. And I was like, oh, who's my favorite team? I don't know. What am I going to pick? I guess the Saints. And so I went with the Saints, and that was great. They had Drew Brees and Reggie Bush, and I was like, these guys, their stats on Madden is awesome. I go and play with these guys, right? And then the year that I decided the Saints were my favorite team, guess who won the Super Bowl? The New Orleans Saints. And I was like, oh, wow, lucky guess. Good for me. A couple years went by, and then I picked, I decided to change my favorite team. I decided to pick the Patriots. Don't remember why. Could have cared less. Everybody hated them because they were so awesome. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Picked the Patriots, and then the Patriots that year won the Super Bowl. And I was like, hot dang. I'm like 2 for 2. And then I got into college, could have cared less about football, and like all of my roommates were all Broncos fans and convinced me to do an NFL draft. And I was like, or the like fantasy thing. I did that, and that was the biggest mistake of my life. I will never do a fantasy team ever again. So bad. I'm competitive, and to be competing in a thing I don't understand and to lose horribly when everyone during the draft for fantasy football was like, oh man, that guy you just picked, he's a great guy. You keep him on all the time. This is going to be awesome. And then I got absolutely smoked because I didn't know what I was doing. So I will never do that again. But I said, I guess I don't know, y'all are always watching the Broncos and stuff. I want to watch football with you. I guess I'm a Broncos fan now. And then the Broncos won the Super Bowl. And I was like, holy smokes. I need to start selling my picks because I guess I'm just lucky that way.
Whoever you pick as your favorite team, they win the bowl.
Yep, so I'm picking Buccaneers for the Super Bowl, although I don't know if I'd call them my favorite team. Is that how it works? Do I have to pick my favorite team and then they're going?
No.
Okay.
That could be a separate thing.
Okay.
Now, here's the other question. Who's going to be the worst team in the NFL this year?
Worst team in the NFL.
And why is it going to be the Detroit Lions?
Worst team in the NFL. I'm going to say the Dolphins.
Ooh.
Don't know why.
Okay. Are the Chargers still a team? Yeah, are they?
They're the Los Angeles Chargers, aren't they?
That's the Rams.
And the Rams. They're both in Los Angeles.
Oh, that's stupid. Well, the Detroit Lions are going to be the worst team in the NFL this year.
Did the Lions move? I can't remember.
No, they're still Detroit.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got to look at it. I'm looking it up. And
there you go, Brett Ballard. There's our football predictions. Also, I predict Nebraska football probably still going to be bad this year.
Yep, prob's still bad. I'm a huge fan of Scott Frost, but we'll see. And thanks.
Probably still going to be bad.
Thanks for sitting through our NFL predictions.
To my brother. My brother loves the Cornhuskers.
I do too.
He lives in Alaska.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He's in the Air Force.
The Air Force.
Yep. He's in Alaska.
Good for him,
yep.
I think.
Yep.
I would love to go to Alaska. Kylie and I contemplated briefly when we were finishing college. She's finished college a year ahead of me because she's a little older than me. So she got her master's while I still had my senior year left of college at NCC. And she's an occupational therapist, and there are places that will pay OTs a lot of money to go work out there or to be a traveling therapist or really anything traveling medical can make a lot of money. So we were like, financially, we can totally justify moving somewhere. Is this our chance? Is this our chance to roam and explore the world? And we didn't really seriously consider Alaska, but deep in my heart, I was like, we could move to Alaska. You would make a lot of money and it would be a beautiful place. How much fun would that be? What an adventure. And then we didn't do it. We stayed right here.
My brother told me that there's there's a worship job out on base in Alaska, and he said they pay them an obscene amount of money. But then he's like, but it's also like a Catholic church worship pastor, and I was like, what does that look like? So I said no, but
yep.
Yeah, there's also a place in Alaska. I watch a lot of random videos. There's a place in Alaska that is such a small community that everybody lives in this same building.
Oh.
And everything is there. There's only one way into this town. It's a 1-lane under tunnel thing.
What?
Yeah. It's I'll look up the name of it. But yeah, everything you need is basically in this building.
It's like a compound.
Basically. Hold on, let me look.
Alaska.
Town in Alaska.
While you're looking this up, what's your least favorite state, Noah?
Town in Alaska, all in one building. Welcome to Whittier, Alaska.
Whittier.
The community under one roof.
Whittier, Alaska.
My least favorite.
Your least favorite state. The state that if it didn't exist, that would probably maybe make your life better, or you just forget it exists.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I haven't been to every state, so
sure, that's okay.
I have no reference for this, but I think the funnier states to make fun of are the ones that are way up north. And so I think it's always really funny to make fun of states like Vermont. What's in Vermont? Or New Hampshire? Or Maine? Because Maine looks like a weird head. It looks like a man wearing a fez.
That's true.
Rhode Island is also just kind of a funny state.
Yep.
All of the rest of them, I can think of things that are there, kind of. I can't tell you anything that's in Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine, other than people I think talk about how good fish is supposed to be up there.
Really?
But beyond that, I can't tell you anything that's in Vermont. or New Hampshire or Maine.
Yeah, me neither.
Like nothing. I can tell you Family Guy was in Rhode Island.
Yes.
I can tell you Massachusetts is where John Cena's from. I can tell you Connecticut is where the WWE headquarters is. And then obviously New York. But like Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, legitimately couldn't tell you a stinking thing about those places. So honestly, I'm going to just lump those three together. I hate those. Just kidding. I don't hate them. I just don't know anything about them. So if I had to pick least favorite state, you know what? Let's go with Maine because it looks dumb.
Sure. That's it. Maine. Noah's top pick for worst state, Maine.
You look dumb.
You look up because, and I quote, you look dumb.
I'm sorry, Mainers.
Mainers. Man, oh, were you the one with me? We read through, maybe it was the Papillion staff.
No, that was in a youth meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I went through those because I forget how it came up. I was like, what is somebody from like Utah? Like a Utahan?
Utonian?
Utonian is sick.
I lean towards something like uterine, but that's actually already a thing, and it's not related to the states, so I can't.
That's way funnier. You should change it to that. Are you a uterine?
The uterines.
Sounds like a political party.
Oh, jeez.
This episode has no nerd content.
Not yet. We're only 26 minutes in.
I guess I talked about buying 50 Batmobiles.
That's true.
So it's pretty nerdy.
You did. Yeah. Me and a friend of mine in, again, middle school, actually, but like the summer between 8th and 9th grade, so almost high school, me and a friend of mine made a Facebook page called The First Place I Would Nuke is Iowa.
Why? Why Iowa?
Why Iowa? I'm from Iowa, actually. And
Is that why?
Yes, actually.
Deep-seated bitterness?
Pretty much. Iowa, not a fan.
I'm from Iowa.
Not a fan of Iowa. And what I learned is that there are lots of people in Nebraska who love Iowa. I work with many of them. It blows my mind.
I mean, I don't necessarily love Iowa, but I'm from Iowa.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I forgot about that. Yep. I just remember, honestly, in my mind, Council Bluffs and Iowa are two different places.
That's true. Most people would say that.
Lots of people love Iowa. What stinks too is I love Nebraska and I love the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and people from Iowa tend to love the Iowa Hawkeyes or the Cyclones, but usually the Hawkeyes first.
True.
And gosh dang it, the Hawkeyes are just better at us and have been for some time at football. Yeah. And it's a pain. Yeah. I lost a bet to Lauren Kraft one year because I enjoy being competitive.
Gambling, sinning.
Yeah, totally. And she's, if you don't know this about Lauren, she's also very competitive, and she's an avid Hawks fan. And I wagered, I said, okay, at the end of this football season, this was maybe my first or second year on staff, right? When I was still making I'm still making dumb mistakes. But I said...
Welcome to Cole and Noah, our friends. the dumb mistake that could.
This episode is sponsored by Dumb Mistakes. I said, whoever wins the Nebraska Hawkeye game, basically we have to wear the other person's jersey on stage Sunday morning. And I was confident. Maybe it was the first year Frost was back. I don't know. I was just confident we were going to actually beat the Hawks. And we didn't. And I wore a Hawkeyes jersey in front of everybody. And I had to clarify, I do not like the Hawkeyes. But here I am. So that's my relationship.
That's
with
why
Iowa.
I like professional wrestling. That actually has nothing to do with it. I just
really?
like wrestling. Well, it's just drama, and usually if you've been following storylines long enough, you can tend to pick out how things are going to go, which maybe you wouldn't like it for that reason, but sometimes if it's like lines up with the story, it makes sense.
Sure.
It was funny, they were talking about Triple H was on a podcast, who Triple H is now the acting, he's the EVP of talent relations, so like hiring and firing people.
EVP, executive
vice president.
Vice president.
Yep. And then he also is head of creative now, which you make all the decisions, which is something fans have been clamoring for a long time. He was on a podcast and they were talking about what's it like if you put so-and-so up against someone in this sport, like boxing, UFC.
Oh, sure.
In football or something like that. What happens if this person, he's like, well, I know in my company, we make sure that guy wins. Oh, it was UFC. They had a Chinese fighter when they were making their debut in China, and they put her against someone, and if she lost, it was going to be a huge detriment, and China wouldn't be happy, but if she won, it'd be huge.
Right.
And that's when Triple H was like, well, in our company, I make sure that person wins. we know she's going to win.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
Which is just funny.
Speaking of knowing people are going to win, this is my moment to talk about the CrossFit Games, which I love.
CrossFit?
I watched CrossFit Games last weekend, but by the time you guys hear this, it'll be like 2 weekends ago.
Explain what the CrossFit Games are, Cole.
Okay, so the CrossFit Games. If you don't know about CrossFit, good for you, I guess. I don't know. I love CrossFit. It's awesome. CrossFit is like is the sport of fitness. And the CrossFit Games is a competition where the top 40 men and top 40 women from around the world compete in a myriad of workouts, basically, that test all manner of skills and levels of fitness. So there's things like there's swimming and rowing and weight stuff, like high volume weight exercises, low volume, high weight, like heavy exercises. It's just a whole lot of people working out, but as fast as they can to beat everybody else. And I love it so much. And I watch it every year. And the thing that I love about it was when I discovered CrossFit, I thought, oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun and it's competitive. Sign me up. And then I realized the CrossFit Games is something that anyone can do if you're good enough. So it's not like you don't have to be assigned to a team. Right, yeah. Like if you're like, I love football, but there's no chance I would ever get a scholarship for that. Or there's no chance I'll get drafted or no one will ever pick me, right? CrossFit is not like that. CrossFit is like 6 months before the games happen, they do the Open, which is CrossFit, like the company, says this is the open workout, one of like 3 or 4 that everyone around the world can do on like at your gym, whatever, and you have this much time to complete it. You have to record you doing it and upload your recording as you upload your score. And the people who perform well in the Open, doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or what gym you're affiliated with or whatever, the people who perform the best in the Open get to move on to the next stages of qualifying for the CrossFit Games. So literally, anybody who's willing to dedicate themselves enough to it can go from like, I didn't know CrossFit was a sport to now I'm competing at the CrossFit Games. With an asterisk by anyone saying the level of competition is insane. Like you like, their whole shtick is like, this is the games to see who's the fittest person in the world.
The CrossFittest.
The CrossFittest, right? The crossiest fittiest. And it's no joke. Like when you watch them do stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, that's inhuman. Like that's crazy. But anyone who's dedicated enough to it, like stands the chance to do it versus like, I don't know if I'm going to get like, or maybe I'm just not going to get picked for the team or I don't live in the right place or whatever. Like it's so inclusive. It literally just comes down to, are you more fit? And I love it. It's so cool. It was so much fun to watch. There were 2 events this year that were just amazing. One was called the Capitol. Another one was called the Sandbag Ladder. If you want, I highly recommend you go watch the end of the Capitol.
Explain what the Capitol is.
So the Capitol was
Please, that just sounded like such a direction. Do it.
Explain the Capitol. The Capitol workout was they did it was called a pig toss, or pig flip, which is basically a long rectangular box-shaped thing, but it's not like made of wood. It's like squishier but heavy. The women's was like 300 pounds. The men's was like 500 pounds, right? And you had to flip it one end over the other down a certain length of the field. I can't remember if it was like 25 meters or 50 meters or what. But you flip it down a turf field, and then the games are hosted in Madison, Wisconsin. So you flip the pig as far as you need to.
And you eat a bunch of cheese.
Totally, yep. Then you move on to the next stage, which was a 3.5 mile run from the field to the capital of Madison, Wisconsin, the actual Capitol building and the square and all the beautiful architecture and stuff. Once you get there, you then had a stretch of walkway where you had to, I can't remember the name of the carry, but it's like a farmer's carry. They basically had 2 heavy bags, one in each hand that they had to carry. And I think for the men, each one was like 100 pounds. And you carry that sucker as far as you can in one go, or rather the distance. There's a specific distance they had to carry. And then after that, you had to pick up there's these things, I think they're called like gravestone, tombstone things in strongman competitions. They're shaped like I don't even know, like a gravestone kind of. But the top part is wider than the bottom part and they're hard to get a grip on because they're sort of awkwardly shaped. They had these sandbags that were shaped like them. You had to pick it up, and that one was also crazy heavy, and carry that to the steps of the Capitol any way you wanted to. But then once you get to the steps of the Capitol, you had to like bear hug it, like wrap your arms around it and squeeze it to your chest, and walk up the steps of the Capitol and then cross the finish line, and then you're done. That's the workout. And it was insane. The reason it was insane to watch the end, the mid and beginnings are kind of boring because it's just people running. The end is insane because you have like thousands of fans there, like on the steps of the Capitol, screaming at people, rooting for them, trying to get them to finish, right? And it was super high energy, and the scene was just beautiful because it's the Capitol building, and it was so cool watching people walk up the steps. The best part was easily the end of the workout when the last female, the last competitor period to cross the line, they didn't have a time cap, but you had to finish to get any points. And she's just gassed. She's got absolutely nothing left. And she gets to the steps. She's carrying her bag up the steps, and the fans start closing in around behind her. So every time she takes a couple steps with this crazy heavy sandbag, the fans all take steps with her. So there's like 1,000 some people cheering for her, rooting for her, walking up the steps with her as she's like leading the way, just trying to help her get there all the way to the end. And it was nuts. It was, as Brett would say, it was electric. And I loved it so much. And it was a really good picture of what CrossFit is like. CrossFit is just so community heavy. Mm-hmm. So that was dope. And then the sandbag ladder was just fun to watch. People throw really heavy sandbags up on their shoulders and try to balance it there for like a second. And it was just cool. It was a whole bunch of dudes and strong women going, I can pick this up. Can you pick this up?
There's a professional wrestler who they nicknamed CrossFit Jesus because he has a semblance to what American Jesus looks like. And he has a CrossFit gym of his own.
Oh, awesome.
And his name is Seth Rollins.
I love that.
But he's from Iowa, so don't hold that against him.
Well, I mean, if they're athletes, good for them.
He's a CrossFit athlete. He's no joke. His fitness,
no joke.
His fitness, no joke. This has been a sport-heavy podcast.
It is. How ironic. We're not sporty people.
we're now a sports podcast. Tune in next week for our sports betting tips.
Yep.
For how to lose all your money.
How to lose your money. How to almost win your money.
But then not.
That's right. I don't do sports betting. I did and continue to invest a little bit in the crypto market. And that is not looking great right now.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Although I did the same, and it did go up from where it was. Mm-hmm. For a while, the peak I had it at was like a number. I don't have to give a number, but I haven't invested a ton, so it doesn't matter. The peak of mine was at like 156, and I was like, "Ooh, that's nice." And then like the next time I looked at it, it was all the way down to $45, and I was like, "Oh gosh, oh boy!" But now I think it's back up to like 95. So
yep, I had a friend do a deal with me because we were researching stuff together, crypto stuff together, and he said, "Hey man, I've got some money to throw around, but I don't have the time to do the research. You have the time to do the research, but maybe not the money to throw around. If you find projects you're like, I would totally want to invest in this, and you send it my way, I will give you like 25% of the profit." And I was like, that is an insane deal. Like, okie dokie, let's go for it. And I found one called Injective Protocol that I was like, why not? Let's try this one. And he invested in it at like $1.15, and then at the like peak of the market, it reached like $26. And I was like, oh, dude. And I messaged him. I was like, so at what point do we want to like pull out of this thing and take profits? Because I was looking at like maybe $3,000 after having not put any money in it, because the guy was just like, I'll make this deal with you. And he was like, I don't know, man. Like, I think it's going to go like all the way to 100.
And then it crashed.
Oh. And it's back down to like $1.15. I was like, no, why didn't I sell?
We had our chance and you blew it.
Oh man, I think the market will boom again in the next couple years. I think it's going through its cycle. We'll see. We will see. There you go.
NFTs fault. I blame it on NFTs.
Blame it on the NFTs. No. Do you really?
No, I don't. I don't have any basis for that. I just think the NFTs are wild because, like,
they are.
I know of people who spent like $600,000 on a Bored Ape, and then now that thing is worth like maybe $50,000.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh,
and that's brutal.
That is brutal. It's crazy.
But I also know people who, at the boom of it, they paid like $250K on a project and then made like 10x that.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's so volatile. Like, you can still, like, Ethereum the other day, maybe a week or two ago, Ethereum was down to like $1,000, and that looks bad because at one point Ethereum almost peaked past, I think, $5,000 at its peak. Right now Ethereum is at like $1,800. That's almost 2 times what it was worth weeks ago. Yeah. You know, that's like a 70-80% increase. That's an insane amount of profit if you're somebody who's like, I'm still buying this thing. That's when crypto really is just, I mean, it's not totally gambling if you're like, I believe in the future of this project, so
Ethereum's
I'm just going to buy
1810 right now.
There you go. There you go.
I have Ethereum Classic because it's the cheaper one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ethereum Classic is not $1,800. It's only $38. Mm-hmm. And that one's doing okay. And then I have another one called Polygon, which isn't great. I had like 14 million Shiba Inu at one point.
Everybody around here was so hyped about Shiba.
No, I only did it because on Coinbase you can do like learn to earn. And so I had a bunch of learn to earn $3 stuff, and I put like, I think I had $11 to learn to earn. I put it all towards Shiba, and then I had like 14 million. I was like, dude, if this ever pops off, I am going to retire,
dude.
Because
that's like you see that bag over there of air quotes magic beans.
Yeah,
I know they're not really magic, but if they get magical one day, I'm gonna be so rich.
It really is though. Like, it really is. Like, that Shiba, it's just wild. Like, what that was worth at one. Like,
yep.
Or even Doge. Like, to think about the people who had Doge.
Did I tell you about my Doge tragedy?
No.
So but
I'm interested.
I was investing in crypto stuff, playing around with it, with just like play money. I was like, I'm prepared to lose all this. This is fine. Yes. And I was like, what's the next project I want to maybe put some money into? And I looked at Dogecoin. When Dogecoin was like 0.3 of a penny. So it wasn't $0.01. It was like 0.003.
Okay.
And I was like, I've got maybe $100 that I'm fine like spending and losing this month. What if I put it there? And I was like, no, Dogecoin is just a big meme, and I want to actually see if I can maybe make some money, and I don't see money in a meme coin. And then Dogecoin went to like 70 cents, right? It like multiple hundreds of multipliers. I would have had thousands of dollars. And I just said no. I was like, gosh, dang it. I underestimated the meme.
Yeah, because it started out at 0.00007, and then it peaked at, let's see. According to this, it peaked at like 28 cents.
At one point, it was like in one day. Because everybody was hyped about, like, take Doge to the moon.
Oh, no, there it was.
Go $1.
Yeah, for one day, it was 74 cents.
Yep.
For one day. And now it is nothing. Stephen Voss just tried to FaceTime me.
Bye, Stephen.
But
see you later.
I didn't answer, as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
But there you have it.
That's the sports episode.
Now, Cole, would you venture to say that through this journey of Bitcoin and football and all the things, would you venture to say that we are indeed still friends?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
One of these times we should do a cliffhanger where we don't answer.
That's a great idea.
I mean, people know the answer. You and I are both pretty positive people, so unless something drastic happens.
Yep. I did get a great recommendation from Becca.
Yes, let's hear it. She is our highest donor.
She is.
So
she literally what I said to her. I was like, you can do whatever you want.
She basically owns 100% of the company at this point.
Well, yeah. She owned 100% of what is now the revenue we've gotten from this company, which is still a negative in the books.
But
that's fine.
She's our biggest investor.
She's our biggest investor, and therefore she gets the biggest say about what our topics are.
Yep.
Because capitalism. So
that's right.
So
therefore, episode 8. What did Becca say we should talk about?
Oh, Becca said, "Hey," because Becca and I have talked a couple of times about she was my resident, and I've asked her, I was like, hey, ministry is just a totally different experience for women than it is for men, especially as pastors. And we have a bajillion blind spots. So will you tell me when you're like, hey, I think a woman's perspective on this is very different than what a guy's perspective is going to be like. Ooh. Because I need that, professionally.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
need that.
And just as a human being.
Yeah.
I think it only helps you get better, especially with the current rise in a lot of, I hate saying it for whatever reason, but in the toxic masculinity and for, oh my goodness, Andrew Tate. I don't know if you've seen all that stuff about him. Yeah, don't. He's a colossal scumbag and just ruining the brains of a lot of young, impressionable men. Anyways, all that to say.
Anyways, she was like, I think it'd be cool to have someone, just have a female guest on the show and get her perspective on just some of the things. And I was like, I would love to do that. She, even just talking about, whatever episode when I mentioned being at Bed Bath & Beyond, somebody talked about my butt and it made me feel uncomfortable.
Well, when you were saying that, I was like, man, imagine that being every day.
Every day. I was like, imagine being a woman. Imagine, dude. But even her talking about when that first happened for her and how old she was. And I was like, that's a totally different,
vastly different experience.
For
me, I don't know that that's even ever happened.
Right.
Probably just because of the way it's framed.
I mean, I can say things about your body to make you feel uncomfortable if you'd like.
I don't know that they'd make me uncomfortable. Okay. I'll be honest. I'm really good friends with Steven. You should hear some of the things he has said to me. So I don't think they'd make me uncomfortable.
Oh, okay, good.
The other day, I got to say this, and then we'll go.
Okay.
We were at a concert, and I forget how it came up. Oh, everyone says Cody Carnes and I look alike.
Yes.
Right. And at that concert, I had numerous people say, "Wow, you and Cody Carnes look alike." And then one of my friends said, "But you're fitter." And I was like, "Thank you. I need that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much."
You would be the fittest at the Cody Carnes games.
Exactly, the Cody Carnes games. Just how long of a worship set you can lead.
Yes. All right, well, thanks everybody.
Episode 7 in the books. Maybe episode 8. Maybe it's the very first the Cole and Noah have friends.
Maybe.
Episode 8? Or maybe we save that for episode 10.
I don't know.
The milestone.
The milestone. Big thanks to everybody who's been just listening, because I can't believe people listen to this.
Sharing it, following us on social media, telling us things.
Seriously.
Continue to have your friends listen to it, even if at first it's just a joke, because that's how we get
That's okay. Our first episode, Luke, I Am My Father, almost has 100 downloads.
Ooh.
Which is insane.
Abby Melhus started listening to it.
Did she really?
Yeah, she did.
Oh,
she sent me, what did she say? She said something very funny about it, because I just randomly got a message from her, and I saw that it's the Luke, I Am My Father one. She said, thrilling, crying, laughing emoji. But she was 10 seconds shy of finishing that episode.
Oh, wow. That's a good sign.
She said,
all right.
Her thoughts and comments. 1, watch the original Star Wars movies, you dum-dum. I totally had the thought once your anxiety came from horror movies but didn't know about your Chucky story. And then she said, Vader means father, I'm dead. And then she also said, only nap through 10 minutes of this podcast episode.
Awesome.
So there you go.
Well, thank you,
Send us your
Abby.
feedback. Tell Cole your feedback. Tell me your feedback. And we will take it into consideration.
Maybe. Probably.
Maybe.
We love you all so much.
Who can be sure? Yeah, we do. We love everyone who listens to this podcast and tells us that they listen to this podcast.
Yep.
And keep doing it, because this is a lot of fun for Cole and I.
It's true.
It's therapeutic.
It really is. I look forward to it every time.
Brett, tell us how we do. Brett will be our correspondent in the field.
That's right.
About football. We'll have Brett's football minute. We got a lot of minutes to give away for this podcast.
Do.
We'll make people pay for it. That's how we get sponsors.
Oh, maybe that's our we'll start our Patreon. Yes. They can buy time on the show, and it'll be great. We'll just be total sellouts.
Except for Steven. We will not give him any time on here, because who knows how that will go.
No, here's what we do. This is the thing. You can pay to make sure Steven doesn't get a minute. Oh. And the moment we run out of funds,
you pay for
is the moment Steven's the guest.
Every dollar you donate, we will censor his name anytime it's said on this podcast.
Yes, please, can that be a thing?
If you donate any amount from a penny to $10 million, we will censor Steven's name every time it's said.
You know, I was talking to Boop.
Yeah, so like right now, if you donate $1 and you say, I want 2 times Steven's name to be censored, you got it. You got it. You make that donation and we will bleep Steven's name.
I'll do it retroactively too. I'll go back into the episodes.
You can pay for retroactive bleeps. Even the part where he says something.
That one's $2, but it has to be a $2 bill. All right, you can't. You have to mail me a $2 bill to do the retroactive.
That's more work on Cole's part.
Yep, totally.
But
twice
that is hilarious. That's so funny, and Steven's gonna hate this episode.
He is. He's gonna hate it so much.
Can't wait.
Oh man. All right. Well,
on that note,
I think that's all we got.
So, as always, you know what they say. Kick rocks.
Kick rocks. Chishita.